Hello, this is Travis Szelis on the campus of Huntington University, and you are listening to Rooted, an in-depth conversation with interesting people and topics that matter to the Forrester family. You can find Rooted on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify, or you can find us by searching Forrester Radio Rooted. And you can also catch Rooted Sunday evenings at 7 on 105.5 WQHU. Today I am joined by Troy Szelis. Troy Szelis is a teacher in the local area. Troy Szelis, thank you for joining me. I have a pretty good list of questions here for you to answer, so prepare yourself. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
So I would like to have you introduce yourself and maybe explain how long you've been teaching and what you teach.
Okay, I'm Troy Szelis. I teach at Woodside Middle School, which is in southwest Allen County. I graduated from Huntington College in '94, and then I've been teaching for 28 years.
So what's your favorite moments or memories from Huntington University?
There were several. I remember all the chapels, which I enjoy, like the Christmas shows that they have, but also just the chapel services and the Christian atmosphere. Also, I remember being in a talent show in like an air band contest. We went to Taylor University too for that contest, and that was exciting. And met my wife. That was a very favorite memory there. Tutoring while I was tutoring.
Wow, that's great. What's your favorite thing about being a teacher?
My favorite thing, I think, is just interacting with the students. I think it's beyond the content, beyond teaching. Like I always tell students, it's not just teaching, but you are also teaching how to be better in terms of a person, in terms of skills and things like that, but also just to know the student. A lot of them are struggling with things, and it's just kind of nice to build that relation with each student and realize that they are each gifted in their own way, that they each have their own learning style. And that's probably the main thing I want them to know, that they are gifted.
What or who inspired you to become a teacher?
Well, I would say, I would really say, honestly, God, because I was age 7, I started playing school at home. I just always enjoyed just the teaching and learning different things. I always loved to learn. But also, I would say in particular, Mrs. Coy, 4th grade teacher, and Mr. Kenny Stoffel at Huntington North inspired me in terms of their teaching style and how they cared for their students. I think those particular people inspired me, Mrs. Coy and Mr. Stoffel, for a fact of how they taught in terms of focusing on, again, knowing the student, knowing us. I felt like I knew them better, but also they made sure that they knew what I liked and really encouraged me to learn stuff my way instead of just one standard way. So I think I took away from that way.
And then what are some of your biggest challenges when it comes to being a teacher?
I don't know if you have enough time, but we'll kind of condense it here. I think as the world, you see changes in the world, you also see that coming into the classroom. So I think the challenges of like COVID, learning from Zoom online classes, now students coming back. To be honest, we already struggled in the fall with students coming back from Zoom and trying to be in a standard classroom and with procedures and all that. I would just say after 4 or 5 months, maybe we're going back to what I call normal middle school, but it did take a while. So I think the challenge now is just this new learning that's going on with COVID, but also with the technology that's changing. And I'm not a young person here, but I'm learning different things each day. But I just realize the technology has to be different. You have to reach students where they're at. You can't do what you did 20 years ago. So I have to step up too and make sure I offer that. But whatever I do, though, the challenge is I do want to say that I try to make myself in an image of God and a model for students in terms of being patient, because a lot of times, a lot of these students, they need a lot of patience when you deal with them. But if I have that in the back of my mind, that kind of drives me when I teach, that I'm knowing I'm there to help them and to become better people.
And what would you say to anybody listening to us right now that maybe want to become a teacher? And what would you say to them?
Well, that's kind of a a personal question of mine, which I can easily answer because I just told my two daughters that going into college, especially one going into education, that if you're going to pursue that, it has to be more than just financial gain or for the money. It has to be because you want to do that, because you want to make the change in others and to know other people in terms of colleagues you work with, but also students. But that has to drive you, not the financial things or things like that, because you will probably not last too long in teaching if that's the only thing. And you got to also maintain a sense of humor and with students, and be genuine with them in what you do, because that does make a difference. If you're true to yourself, then you'll be students will see that.
I know you kind of already answered this question, but maybe going back on what your favorite thing is about being a teacher, but maybe on more of a daily basis of going in and seeing your students. Maybe what is more of your favorite thing about that?
I think I just know that each student, as I see them, or as each person I encounter, that they are unique in what they are doing, and to just know how they're taking the information in and realize people are different. They do take information differently, and just to lead them that way, because a lot of times it's not going to be an easy straight path, but to see them make progress is a good thing. From August to May at the end of the school year, to see a student that usually struggles, someone who doesn't really get it in August, but they are taking those steps. It might be small steps, but they're taking steps to become a better person. So that's what really makes it exciting when I teach.
How would you describe your relationship with the parents when you're teaching?
It's very vital. I always look at it as like a triangle. I'm one of the angles there, one of the corners. The student, yes, I deal with students, but then the other one is the parent. So we kind of work together, and it takes patience and understanding. Sometimes things are misunderstood or miscommunicated, vice versa, via me or via the parent or via the student. But us coming together and be proactive. A lot of times I'm proactive in the fact that I actually call parents ahead of time, or I tell them things are up and coming up, and tell them the expectations of the class. But I would just say being patient, not only with dealing with students, but also with parents, because a lot of times the parents, they don't get all the whole story. Same with me as a teacher, man. I don't get everything that's going on at home, which is a lot of times the case. Talking about challenges, a lot of things might be going on at home that I don't know, but it kind of goes in a classroom where those students are acting or showing a different emotion. Maybe they're more angry or something. But I think just dealing with parents and being proactive, listening to them, keep them informed of what's going on has really made a difference.
Is there anything that you would like to talk about that we haven't mentioned here today?
Yeah, going back to like if someone wants to be a teacher, but in particular if you are and you're in college and you're pursuing classes to become a teacher, I would say encourage a lot to be in a classroom early. I know sometimes as a class, professors put you in a class, but even volunteering and being involved with day camps or youth camps over the summer, the more you can get with the students and kind of see that instead of maybe once or twice. I know of young people that do get in education, those that were in there early, that got in the classrooms early during the college years, really were more prepared than maybe just a couple times. So I encourage that as those pursue education. But I do really encourage those to go into education. We do need to have people who are passionate and who are willing to do that.
Thank you, Troy, for joining me on this episode of Rooted, and thank you for listening. Make sure you subscribe to Rooted on iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify. And remember, you can listen to Forester Radio over the air in Huntington on 105.5 WQHU, or stream us online anywhere on foresterradio.com. Stay rooted.